morning, friends, and welcome back to my channel. Or if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Carrington. I'm really glad that you have decided to hop on a video. And don't forget to go ahead, hit that subscribe button, click the little bell if you have not already to be notified of all my future uploads, as well as if this is your 10th time, 100th time, 50th time, second time here, and you still have not yet hit that subscribe button. I absolutely invite you to do so, and don't forget to hit the bell so you're notified of all my future uploads. And let's dive into today's video. Alright, so it is favorites and fails time. These are all my favorites and fails from September. I've got quite a few favorites in like the makeup category. I've got a few fails. I don't have like a ton of fails, but I do have a few fails that we will definitely talk about. But I also have some lifestyle favorites. So I've got books, I've got a movie, I've got other kind of like items. I'm going to throw that into the middle. So I'm going to talk about my favorites first, then throw in my lifestyle, and then talk about my fails. So if you guys want to see all of my favorites for the past month, as well as a few fails, then definitely keep on watching. Alright, I'm going to leave palettes and eyeshadows for last because I know that's like everybody's favorite. So let's go ahead and let's dive on into our first favorite. So it is the NYX Bear With Me Sunscreen Daily Moisturizing Primer with Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil with Broad Spectrum SPF 30. I am a like SPF junkie. The more things that have SPF in it, the more I love it. So in the morning, I do my skincare. My moisturizer for my skincare has SPF in it. I then go over it with like just straight SPF, a sunscreen, and then I like to take like a moisturizing or like a primer that has SPF. And if my foundation also has SPF in it, that's also an added bonus. But this I didn't really find had like a fragrance in it that was like irritating to the skin. This was very, very nice and hydrating. I really appreciate that. A little bit goes a long way, but it kept my face nice, hydrated, glowy, and protected from the sun without like a large scent to it. So I really, really appreciate this. I have two Complexion Foundation kind of like products. The first is this Urban Decay Stay Naked. Okay. This was in my Shop My Stash bag because my friend Joanne picked this out for me. She picked out all of my Shop My Stash bag for the month of September when she came to visit me. And I had never ever tried this. And I had heard some like really mixed reviews on this. I am talking like some mixed reviews. So I was a little bit nervous about this, but it was on sale at Ulta. I want to say it was like 50% off. So I was like, okay, well, I guess like I'll pick it up. It's 50% off. Like even if it sucks, like it's 50% off. It's no big deal. But I love this. I really like this, especially with like some nice glowy primers underneath. Definitely gives you like that nice glow, keeps that glow. Not too matte, not drying on my face, especially like I have some dry skin. So the fact that like this like left my skin nice and dewy, not super matte. The coverage was nice. It wasn't too cakey, wasn't, you know, too full coverage. This is definitely like a foundation that like I'm constantly looking for. One that I'm like terribly embarrassed to admit that I love as much as I do is the YSL new Bear Tint look, whatever. This is expensive. Okay, it's like $38 or $40. And granted, you get like 1 fluid ounce. So it's like normal. So it's not like it's like overly priced for like a drugstore. But like for a skin tint, it's like $40 for a skin tint. That's where I'm just kind of like, but I love this. I think this is such a good product. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. I hate myself that I love this so much, but I feel like this really does give like a very light coverage. You can build it up slightly to get a more high coverage, not like full coverage, but like a light medium kind of a coverage. I feel like it did a great job like evening out my skin tone. I just hate that I love this so much for as expensive as it is for a skin tint, but like I do. This was like so good. I would say if you're in the market for like a really good skin tint and you want to feel bougie, go with the YSL one. I feel like there are other good like drugstore options, affordable options out there, so you don't need to necessarily go run and like grab this, but this was like sat on my skin so nicely. Really, my face looked nice and hydrated and dewy. This was so good. For concealer, I really enjoyed this one size. What is this called? One size Turn Up the Base Butter Silk Concealer. Mine is in the shade Fair. This is like the lightest shade you can get. I love this. This was so good. I feel like Patrick Starr, who is like the owner of the One Size, it's called One Size, right? Yeah. The One Size brand, like, really does complexions like really well. And this is like no exception. Like, I really like his setting powder. I really like this. I have yet to try his eyeshadow palette, but I feel like everything that I've tried so far, like, I really am enjoying. So I hope I enjoy that eyeshadow palette as much as I do, but I love this. Next up is setting powder, and it's this Menagerie Camouflage Soft Focus Setting Powder in the shade, mine's in the shade Translucent. This is good. Like, it's really nice and finely milled, and I find like it sets like both my under eyes and my face so nicely. Doesn't make it like matte, doesn't make it crepey, doesn't make it heavy. I feel like it really just does set my face like so nicely. It's definitely really finely milled. It doesn't leave like a white cast or anything. This is definitely one where I would say go check it out. They have other options besides just translucent, so I'm sure there's going to be something in there for everybody. This one is like one of like the best setting powders I've ever tried. I don't know that it necessarily rivals my like Maybelline Fit Me. I don't know if like it'll beat that one, but like this is, it's good. And I feel like it's nicely priced as well. So if you guys are wanting to support like an indie brand or in the market for like a new setting powder, I would definitely say go try and check this out. I have two blush palettes before we get into the eyeshadow palettes. And the first one is from Jaclyn Cosmetics. It's the Rouge Romance. This is in the Cool. Again, I had never tried this before. Joanne had put this in my Shop My Stash, and I love this. These are so nicely pigmented. They glide on beautifully. They go over powder really nice. I find that it doesn't disrupt any of my foundation underneath or concealer or whatever. It's just really nice. The color options are really nice. These are definitely more cool and pink. She has another option which is like a little bit more warm. So if you're somebody that really wants to like mix and match, I would say get both. If you are more into cool tones, get this. If you're more into warm tones, get that. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I love this. The packaging is really super cute. It's nice and weighted, has a nice mirror. The blushes are all really large. Again, they're nice and pigmented, so it's going to take you a while to go through this. Definitely one that I'm so excited that I tried and that I purchased, and I would 100% recommend this if you're wanting like a really nice blush palette. The next blush palette is from Menagerie. It's the Arthurine blush palette. This is such a unique blush palette. Like, I don't have a lot of these blushes in my collection, and so the fact that I have them in here is just amazing. This is such like a good fall palette. It's really heavy. It's very nice and weighted. The like pictures on it, the packaging is really beautiful. It has a nice large size mirror in here. I like how, oh, I gotta get it open. It has a magnetic closure, and then like underneath the mirror it says unbearably cute blush below. I love how they do that. I love like all the names. Like, this is just such a great blush palette. If you want something like a blush palette, or you're in the market for something that like you feel like you don't have a lot of in your collection, I think this blush palette is definitely one of those. I find I really don't have a lot of these tones or options in my collection, and I own a lot of makeup. I own a lot of blushes, blush palettes from high-end, affordable, drugstore, indie, but nothing is like this, and I love it. So now let's move on into the eyeshadow palettes. I have quite a few eyeshadow palette favorites to talk about, so let's go ahead and let's get started. So the first one is going to be the Colourpop. This is called Smoke Show. I think I got the original one. I think they had to like change the name to something else. But I did like a Natasha Denona dupe, and I used this. And before, like, I had maybe used this like once or twice, and I was like, oh yeah, these colors just really aren't for me. I have created several looks since then with this, and I love every single one. I love all of the looks that I'm able to create with this, and this is $12. This is $12, and it's currently available on Colourpop's website. It's in stock. Definitely go run and pick this up, especially if you were contemplating the Natasha Denona one. I don't think you'll need that one. Just get this one. The amount of colors and variety you have, the shimmer, especially like this like middle one, is like, it's a good silver. Like, that is a fantastic silver. It's incredible. Definitely a palette, like, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I don't really use a lot of blacks. And I was the same way. But like, literally just like buy a palette, like this palette specifically. And like, just use little brushes. Don't use big brushes. Don't overly pack your brush. Just go in, dunk once, and just work on slowly building it up. And now I love blacks. I love this whole vibe. And I have put this in my fall favorites because I said this is gonna be perfect for fall, perfect for October. I love it. And then, I mean, just that shimmer. Chef's kiss. Next from last month's Shop My Stash is the Lois Cosmetics Meet Me in the Underworld palette. This is like such a great, fantastic fall palette. I feel like the quality is really nice. The price is really nice. Last I checked, this was still available. I know that this collection sells out pretty quickly, but they do keep restocking it. So just go to Lois Cosmetics Instagram page, and they have the link to their shop, as well as they can let you know like when they're going to be restocking this if this isn't in stock. But like, I love like the grungy greens. I love like the berry tones that's in here. You got a couple like neutral options. Not a lot. Like, that's kind of a little bit more neutral. That's neutral. That could be a neutral. The shimmers are also really nice. Like, I really like this Enchanted shade and Orpheus. Like, those two shades are stunning. I love them. The artwork is beautiful. It comes with like a really nice sized mirror inside. So yeah, I would say if you're in the market for like a really nice fall palette and you want to support an indie brand, definitely check this one out. Let's talk about two more fall palettes. So the next one is the Kaleidos Flower Punk palette. I like that you can remove the mirror altogether, and then you are left with this palette. Now, the look I created, I absolutely loved. I will say though that I wish the shade right here, Chlorophyll, kind of came more like that green, but it really turned like a very mustard yellow, like a very yellow shade, kind of almost like a brownish yellow shade, which I guess would be like a mustard, but like it's a little bit more yellow. I don't know, it's hard to explain. So it didn't really stay like true to the color. These other ones did. This looks really nice. I got to play around with like these pinks. I really love that. This Aloe Cove shimmer, I love. It's like, this is one of my favorite colors, like, period. So like, I love that. I think that's so cute. This is such a great palette. Nice and compact, easy to like tote around, easy to store. The artwork is beautiful. Like, there's nothing about this palette where I can say negative, except for like that Chlorophyll shade doesn't really say green. It's more like a brown yellow kind of a shade, which is kind of disappointing, but the rest of the palette is fantastic. All right, last fall palette is the Give Me Glow Vintage Rose. I love this palette. I have played and played and played in this palette. This is such a great fall palette. I could see where you could maybe take it a little bit more like springtime if you wanted to. But I feel like there's a look in here for everyone. Like, you could do, you know, like a really bright pink in a shimmer. You could do like a green in a shimmer. You could mix and match all the mattes together, all the shimmers together. This is such like a beautiful, gorgeous palette. Of course, Give Me Glow has like those like incredible, mind-blowing shimmers that like literally just like blow people out of the water. Maybe it's just me. Maybe they just blow me out of the water. I don't know. I think they're stunning. I think they're beautiful. Definitely a great palette to go check out for fall. Give Me Glow is such an amazing brand. I mean, look at those shimmers. Incredible. All right. And then we have from Menagerie the Flight Club palette. I just tried this out and I am in love. This is a beautifully formulated purple palette. Now, purples can be very hard to formulate, so keep that in mind. Purples are definitely things that can be hard to formulate, but I found that these have blended nicely, packed on nicely. The shimmers are absolutely beautiful. This is a great purple palette. If you are in the market for a purple palette and you want something that is pigmented, blends nicely, packs on nicely, and has beautiful shimmers, this is a great palette. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I love like the artwork. I love the little bat eating his fruit. It has a nice mirror, and then it says, "I've got a bat attitude." I love that. I love like the shade names like Sky, Puppy, Squeak, Fox, Flying Fox, I think it's called. I love this. This is vegan and cruelty free. It's an absolutely incredible palette. It did create a little bit of staining for me, so just be mindful of that you may have some slight staining. Not a deal breaker for me. I'm not sensitive to that. If you are, just be mindful. But honestly such a great purple palette. If you don't have like that staple purple palette in your collection, definitely go and give this a try. This could potentially be like your staple palette. And last palette, it's not really like a palette, it's eyeshadows. These are the Give Me Glow singles. So these are some of the newer ones that like I have just recently purchased, and this doesn't include all of them. These are all shimmers. I have like mattes and stuff. Give Me Glow just like is so good, and I'm always so impressed with their singles, and I love that like I can just create anything with the amount of singles that they have, shimmer wise, matte wise, glitters. Like they've got something for everyone. Duochromes, toppers. Like there is something that Give Me Glow has that's going to be for everyone. Color wise, they have every color story. Such a great brand. Definitely go run and check them out. They're so good. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move on to some lifestyle items. So first things, I'm gonna just like go ahead and talk about fashion. So I went to my local Torrid, and they just had their clearance where it was like you buy something that's on clearance, and you can buy 3 things of equal or lesser value for free. And I love it when they do that. I'm going to show just like 2 pieces that I got that I really love. I did buy more than this, but first off is like this really cute, adorable, like leopard printed. It's like really tall. It goes down really far. I really like this. This hugs nicely like around my chest, so it really like gives my boobs some definition. You have this in the back, which I really like, kind of adds something to it. I love leopard print. Like that is like my favorite print. So this is definitely something that like I'm really into. Every time I've worn this shirt, I've gotten like a ton of like compliments from like coworkers and stuff saying how much they love it, which of course makes me happy. And then this next one that I got is also leopard print. It's like a very nice like that, and then it's got like these little strings that you can tie or you can leave down. It's got like little buttons down the front. They're not actually, do they work? Yeah, that you could like unbutton or rebutton it. I literally just slide this on over my head. I really like pairing this with like a really nice like cardigan or like a really nice blazer, depending on like how professional I need to maybe be for that day. Like if I'm going and like meeting with a client, I need to dress more professional. If I'm just like kind of sitting at the office, maybe like a cardigan, or if I'm like going out with friends, a cardigan, because I feel like cardigans are a little bit more comfortable than like blazers. But yeah, those were like 2 of like my favorite pieces that I bought. I mean, I bought like a lot more. I bought like 2 pairs of pants. I bought some leggings. I bought another like 2 or 3 shirts. Like I bought a lot. So I was really, really happy with like what I did get. But those 2 are definitely like my favorites. All right, let's move on to media. So the first thing I want to talk about media wise is this book from Jodi Picoult that I had recently read. It's called Small Great Things. This is definitely a great book. This is about a book about Ruth Jefferson, who's a nurse, and she was taken off of a baby's case. And I'll leave like all the the important details for you guys to check out the book. But anyways, the baby dies, and Ruth was left alone in the room with this baby that she was given orders not to treat. She was told that she was not allowed to be near that baby, but she was left alone with the baby, and the baby went into cardiac arrest and died. So now the parents are suing her, and it's like a whole big deal. So it kind of goes through her story of like what happened that day through the court case, and then the ending has a twist. And that's the thing, like Jodi Picoult's books always have like this twist at the end, and I really love that. I love her writing style. This is also like, you know, kind of an important book. It addresses some like topics that are really hot right now, especially within like the United States, in terms of like white supremacy, things like that. So this is definitely like it's a book that you know, is fiction, but definitely covers like some important things in this day and age. So definitely if you guys are really into wanting something like a deep, thoughtful book that really has you like, you know, having like open conversations or have you think more about things, I think this will be a great book for you to check out. If you're just wanting something kind of more of like a light read. I do have some other Jodi Picoult books. I really like The Storyteller. That's a really good one. Leaving Time is also good. Like, honestly, all of her books that I've read are good. I haven't really found a book that I don't like. So definitely go, like, just in general, go check Jodi Picoult out. But this is definitely one of those books that I love. Storyteller is above this. I will tell you that much. I love the book, The Storyteller. That's so good. But this is definitely a very thought-provoking book, and I was so excited to read this and really, really loved the ending. Next for media is this Cruella movie. Okay, I love Disney. Like, if you guys ever met me in person, I can give you Disney facts about any Disney movie ever. I may not have ever seen Grease. I may not have seen Star Wars. I probably could not tell you anything about most TV shows. But what I can tell you is anything about Disney. And this movie was so incredibly good. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. A lot more than I thought I would be. And my husband is not big on Disney movies. My husband is one of those where he's like, he'll watch them with the kids. If the kids like kind of request like, hey, I want to watch a Disney movie or whatever, then he'll be like, okay. He'll watch something with them. But like if it's just like me and him or just him, like he's not going to put on just a Disney movie. But I was like, you know what? For date night, like you can pick like what I make, what we have for like snacks, appetizers, whatever. But we're watching this. Okay, like we can have alcohol. I don't care what we do, but we're watching this as definitely one of the things. And he actually enjoyed this movie. Like he was just like telling other people about it. He's like, yeah, I watched this movie and it was so good. And like it is a good movie. This definitely like kind of tells about the life of Cruella. And I have seen some people kind of get upset about this like movie because in a way it does kind of make you feel bad for Cruella. And I get that like she goes and tries to like skin animals and like kill them and like that's kind of like a negative thing. But like I feel like it's always nice to see where somebody comes from. Maybe it's just like my psychology degree like coming in where I'm like, yeah, I definitely want like the whole nature versus nurture like thing. And I don't know, just like to me, it's interesting. I'm kind of excited to see if they come out with another one and like how they expand on this. But I do think this is really good. I think Emma Stone did a fantastic job. I definitely would say this is definitely one to like go check out, especially if you loved like 101 Dalmatians. I think you'll like this. Like I really liked 101 Dalmatians. I think you're really gonna like this as well. So let's move into more of like these like lifestyle things that I'm loving. So first things first is I had brought this up in the last One Shot My Stash, but I have since got another one and I'm obsessed with it. So I got a like Hocus Pocus like cup. It says it's Hocus Pocus time witches and it's got like little scenes from the movies like all around here. This glows in the dark. It glows like a blue kind of a tone. I love this. This is my favorite cup of all time right now. I got this off of Etsy. It shipped rather quickly. Is this 40 ounces? I can't remember. I got like the largest that you can get and I think this is like 40 ounces, I want to say. And it was like $40, but like the amount of like artwork that went into this, the fact that it glows in the dark, it came with like its own like little metal straw. Like love this. Definitely go like check Etsy out if you're into like some nice tumblers because that one's really nice. On with like the tumbler theme. I love drinking like these Crystal Lights and my favorite is peach mango. Not tea or anything else. This is literally just Crystal Light, peach mango. It does have caffeine. Does it say how much caffeine it has? 60 milligrams per packet. I love these. I will literally fill up my tumbler and like put 2 of these in here because I think it's like 16 ounces per packet and that's like 40 ounces. So I'll put like 2 of them in there and I'm set for like a few hours. Like this, I love these. Like granted, I love other flavors as well, but this has got to be like the top flavor for me. Last thing to go in here is I got these out. I pulled these out instead of the ones that I have already in use. But these are like, they're called chilling stones. these are more like hard. They are very much like stones. And basically what you do is you just like stick them in the freezer. They, you know, get cold, and then you put them in your drinks. So it's like ice cubes, but the plus side is like it doesn't like melt and then make your drink watery, even more watery. So if you're drinking something like wine or an alcoholic beverage or something like that, and you use ice, like over time, like it's going to like become really watery. These don't, the only downside is they don't get as cold as ice cubes or stay as cold as ice cubes do. But I love these. I use these all the time. We have so many. We just bought more. But they come in like plastic, or there's these which are like hard. They're not plastic at all. And so I really like thoroughly like just enjoy those. And then you just like rinse them off, wash them, put them in like your strainer, wait for them to dry, and then pop them back in the freezer. Super easy, and you don't have to worry about your drink being watered down. Let's move on to the fails. So one fail, I'm gonna put the picture here that I don't have because I have no idea what to do with it. Like I used it like one last time and I don't know what to do with it. But it is the Pat McGrath Dark Star Mascara. This is not a bad mascara. Let me just like preface this by saying this is not a bad mascara. The reason it's a fail is because I would never repurchase it for the price that it's at. It would have to be like deeply discounted for me to purchase this mascara again. Now, this is a very dry formula. I tend to personally really like more dry formulas. I find they don't get clumpy as fast, they don't transfer all over my eyes as fast, and I'm not making as much of a mess with my droopy hooded eyelids as I do with like more wet formulas. So I like that. But I'm finding I'm having to really layer on that mascara. I'm talking like 3, 4, 5 coats. Whereas a mascara from the drugstore that I feel like is very similar is that Maybelline's False Lashy Effect. And I could literally get away with doing 1 or 2 coats with that mascara, and it's equally like a dry formula. So the fact is I'm paying like what, like $10 for the Maybelline one, and this Dark Star mascara is $40, and I'm using 2 to 3 times the amount of product with that one than I am with a $10 drugstore one. So it's not a fail so much that it's like a bad product, because I do like it. It doesn't clump, keeps my lashes separated, gives them some length, and definitely like darkens up. But I don't want to have to coat my eyelids like 4 to 6 times to get the same effect for a drugstore mascara that I only have to do like once or twice. So it's just a fail for like that reason. Like if you already have it, I don't think it's a bad mascara, but it's one where it's like if you were considering it, consider like if you like dry mascaras. If you don't, you're not gonna like this. If you do, sit there and consider, is it going to be worth you to spend like the $30, $40 price point for something that you're gonna go through a lot quicker than something you could get for less expensive at the drugstore? So like for me, like I wouldn't repurchase it unless it was on like a sale or like the VIB sale. I would even then have to be like, is that gonna be like enough of a sale for me to get it? But yeah, overall, I don't think it's worth it for full price. Another skincare, like granted this is like, I've almost used all of this up, so like this will be in empties hopefully soon. This is a Colourpop Lippie Scrub. Now here's the thing, I know this isn't like a fail and I don't like it, so it's like, why are you using it? If it's not causing me to have like an allergic reaction or have a negative effect to my skin, I'll just go ahead and like use it up, because I've already purchased it. Like might as well just go ahead and use it up. This does not feel like a good scrub. Like it just seems that like the little like grits in it aren't super gritty, and like there's not enough of them, and like I don't know. I do feel like it does leave my skin softer than some of the other Lippie scrubs I have used just because I feel like it has like that very like Vaseline kind of a coating, but I just feel like I'm not really exfoliating my lips to the best that I could be using this. So this is one like I would never repurchase a Colourpop Lippie Scrub. I've got other Lippie Scrubs that I love more than this. I just don't think this does a really good job of exfoliating. I think it makes it nice and like soft, but I think it's just because it's like the Vaseline that's in it. But as for like getting off my dead skin, I don't think it does that. Next up is this KVD Good Apple Foundation Balm. I am going to say, I think this is a good foundation. However, if you have extremely dry skin, like I am talking like dry, I don't think this is going to be for you, just because this is a very heavy foundation. I do have to use this with like a sponge. I can't go in with a brush. I have to go in with a sponge and put it in light layers. But even then, it's still like very, very heavy on my skin, and it doesn't wear very well on my skin. I think that if you have like more combo skin, combo leaning dry, combo leaning oily, this was going to be perfect for you. And you could probably even then use a brush or a sponge, whichever. But for me, having such dry, crepey skin, like, I mean, my skin just always feels so dry. This just probably isn't the best product for me. Not saying this is a bad product. I'm just saying for me and my skin and how dry it is, this is probably not the best. Another product is this H2O gloss from Tarte in the shade Sandy Toes. I was so excited about this because Kelly Strack here on YouTube raves about this. This is more of a metallic kind of a gloss. I don't really care for that. I really want like a nice smooth gloss. I don't want a metallic like gloss. I don't care for that. And this feels very heavy on your lips. When you put this on, you definitely know that this is on. And it's very like this isn't even on my lips, and yet here I am like trying to feel my lips. It's very heavy, and it kind of gets a little bit stringy at times. Like you have to be like very careful with it. And again, it's like that metallic kind of a gloss that I'm just not into. So for me, this isn't like a huge win. I can use this. I have to be very careful with like what lip I'm pairing this with, but like I can use this. So it's not like one where like I would get rid of it, but it's definitely one where I have to be a little bit more careful with what I'm using. All right, let's get on to the 2 palette fails that I have. All right, first up is, okay, this isn't a bad palette. Let me just say that. But it's one of those, again, where it's like, I don't think this is worth the price point. And that's the Patrick Ta Major Dimension eyeshadow palette. I hear so many people rave about this. So I went out and I purchased this. And I will say the mattes are beautiful. The mattes blend absolutely extraordinarily. I just don't really care for the shimmers, and I know they're more like topper, like that's the point of them, is to be like more like topper-ish. I don't know. For me, like that's just, I don't know. I'm not really a huge fan of like topper shades. You have like these cream shades, and I've kind of dug into them. It's just not something that I'm going to be using a lot. And I just don't feel like this is like $68, $70 palette worth. I feel like if this was ever on sale, then definitely go, if you're like interested, go snag this up, because like the mattes like and how good they blend in of itself would be worth it, but not $68. I don't feel like just having like a few mattes that blend super well is worth it to me. This is definitely preference. Like if you think this palette's amazing and you spent the $68 on it and you love it and use it every day, that is great. Good. I'm glad that you got like your money's worth out of it. For me, I just feel like I didn't really get my money's worth out of it, and I just feel like if this was on sale, it would have been much better. So I'm kind of hoping to see if this will go on sale. If it does, I will definitely be like announcing it on my Instagram, like now's the time, rush, go get this. So make sure you guys are following me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is lifewithcarringtonm, all one word. I will leave it up here. It's also linked down in my description box, so you guys can go click that link. But yeah, I just don't think that this is $68 worth. Palette is this Urban Decay Prince palette. This was in my Shop My Stash. I think I used this a total of like 2 times, just trying to see if I liked this. I do not like this. The purples are terrible. The blue is terrible. This just doesn't scream like Prince to me. I don't think the quality is there. The quality is terrible. I literally bought it for like cheaper. It was like more than half off. Like it wasn't like exponentially more than half off. I think it was like, I think these palettes are like $56 each, and I think I got it for like $20, like $20.75, I think is what it was, per palette. So like even though like having the 2 together, it was still cheaper than getting the palette, like one palette, and even then I feel like that's not worth the money. If it was like $10, I could see it would be worth the money. But honestly, I'm just gonna say it, I think that this palette and the quality rivals that of Makeup Revolution. And that is not saying a lot. Makeup Revolution is not that great. So the fact that I'm over here like Urban Decay has quality like that of Makeup Revolution, that's saying something. Especially because they overcharge. So yeah, that wasn't a good palette. Alright friends, and that is it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys give this video a great big huge thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Click the little bell if you guys have not already. Let me know down below what some of your favorites and fails from this month are. What are some lifestyle favorites and fails? What are some things you're really into? Let me know all of that. I'd like to know. But that is it. And I will see you guys in another video. Bye.